Welcome to Kicking It with Coach K. This is episode 14. 14, right, Josh? Yup, 14. So we have a special guest with us today. The champ, Millz, is in the house. What's up, champ?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Not a lot, man. It's been a busy day. We're gonna jump into some stuff here in a minute, man. I'm excited for this one. I'll be honest. I have a huge appreciation for you. I always respected you before we went down to the Juneteenth celebration. But after that celebration, man, I'm telling you, I got to see you kind of more firsthand, right? Meet you instead of just hearing about you or seeing you or whatever.
Right.
And that to me, I was like, man, that's a real dude right there. I love how you interact with the kids. I love what you're about. So I'm pumped, man. I'm pumped to have you on today.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Plus, I'm gonna be real. So, like, we had Bronco on a while back, and like Bronco and I talked about how like we think Monroe is like a super hot spot for boxing, and obviously, you're the next guy up, right? So it's exciting for us to have that success in our community and to have somebody, that's not just being the next guy to come up in that success, but also somebody who's pushing it to the younger kids and showing them what they can do. So that's what I look for in people, man, and that's what you bring. So
yes, sir.
So
that's what I love to do, man.
Excited, man. We're gonna jump into your story here in just a minute. This show is brought to you by Brain Jerk and Kennedy Health and Wellness. Shout out to our people over here at Brain Jerk. These guys do a lot for us. They brought the idea of this show. Asked me to do it a while back. They brought Josh, you got like 10 other shows on this podcast network, right? So we got like 10 plus shows on this podcast network that are all in different lanes, right? So they're targeting different audiences, giving you guys different content, different things to learn from, different people to hear their stories and their experiences and things you can take from those shows. So they also got a ton of events coming up, comedy shows and blind dining and all types of stuff. Make sure you check those events out, check their Facebook and social media out for all those updates. But come out to one of their events. I promise you. D knows, I know their events are spectacular. They're a fun time. Make sure you guys get out and check them out. Also, of course, Kennedy Health and Wellness. We handle everything from body care, candles to coaching services. So make sure you get a hold of us if any of that stuff is obviously something you're looking for. We want to give a special shout out to some these guys. I love the word they use. I don't even like using the word sponsors, even though they sponsor the show. So I'll give them that deserving title. Pillars, though. I like the word pillars. I think that's a better word because they uplift people, they uplift the community. So Maya's Fresh Mexican Grill, the Little Brown Jug, Deb's Floral Designs, Lane's Pizzeria, IWR, Muggsy Sports Grill and Bar, Monroe Sports Center Bowling, Nerdy Designs, All Heart Athletics, and Monroe County Sports Network. And I hear we have a few more sponsors coming soon. Stay tuned, take notice for that. I'll announce some stuff on that coming in the next week or so. So our quote of the day, the most important thing is to try to inspire people so that they can be great at whatever they want to do. And that's by Kobe Bryant. So rest in peace. Shout out to Kobe.
Kobe.
But I pick quotes that I think relate to the people on the show. So with that quote, man, like I said, I don't think you're just the kind of person who is out here to elevate just himself. Right. Does that make sense? So that, and I think to me, that's why I picked that. You're somebody who wants to make sure that what you do uplifts people to be great at what they want to do as well. So thought it was fitting today, man.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that's pretty solid with them,
Definitely. Thinking. So let's jump in, man. So D, share. We always start the show with just real basic, kind of jump in. Share a little bit about yourself, man, and your journey.
Well, I started boxing. I was probably about 14. About 14, 15. It was just one summer I wasn't playing football that next season.
Okay.
It's crazy stuff. But I got a taste of boxing. I got in with some grown people at the time, and I held my own. So I'll just, and I took some shots too, and it didn't really hurt me like that. So I'm like, I could go on with this sport, and it was just a quick taste, of that sport. And then I went back to playing basketball, academic sports. And then once I didn't get that scholarship that I probably should have got, in football.
Okay. Yeah.
I went back to boxing and
man. So your story is actually pretty cool and unique. That's because it involves a lot of overcoming. I feel like that's gotta and a lot of adapting and changing and figuring out who you are on the go and evolving as a person. I think, bro, you had to evolve as a person a ton to be going through sports like that and finding different lanes and different things to express yourself and get out. And that's crazy, bro. I did not know that about you.
Yeah.
So out of curiosity, man, you say you started at 14. Where did you find boxing?
At the community center.
Over at the center?
Yeah.
So shout out to the center. We were just in there today with doing a sports camp with Coach Jovan Johnson and Delmar Hoskins, and we had some pretty Coach Shea Small. I don't want to forget nobody, but yeah, man. And we were just telling them in there. We had Bronco come in yesterday. We were telling the kids, like, y'all don't know this, but all the people y'all look up to, D Millz and Bronco, and all the coaches in here today, and we all played here. We all hooped here. They boxed here. We worked out here. We all hung out here at different stages of life, which is, I think, is crazy though. But it's awesome, man. So you started down at the center.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Started at the center. And that's pretty much like, it was a free program for us here in Monroe. It's been a free program for a long time. You pay for your own, your yearly medical card, basically, with the USA Boxing, but your medical book. But other than that, man, we got some great coaches, man, that came from the Kronk gym. I mean,
really,
you don't get that you don't get that anywhere.
That's why Monroe's so special in boxing. It's special here, bro. Like, it really is.
Because it's $75 an hour for personal training. You go anywhere
in boxing
in the world. You know what I mean?
$75 an hour.
Yeah, and then like,
and this is free.
Well, but we got a club though. You know what I'm saying? So it's ALCC Boxing Club. So the kids don't get that one-on-one, which would elevate their game.
But they're still a part of something
still
learning.
Part of a gym, and we're down there for 2 hours.
Love that.
Getting still learning, in, picking them everything about it.
I love that though, and that's big though, because for whatever reason, Monroe, like I said, it's always drawn people to boxing. People have always wanted to box here, and that place has always been full of kids. Always.
Yeah.
I ran a sports camp last year, and during my sports camp, we got 15 maybe. There's another 15 doing boxing work up there with a couple of the coaches. So it's incredible, man. Did you go to school here in Monroe then? You from here then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. I've been in Monroe.
Just for the people listening, I know where you're from. But,
yeah.
But for the people listening, Monroe.
I go back Christian C. Cobras.
Got you, man. Got you. I love it though. And I love that, again, a lot of us grew up in the same areas, went to the same places to hoop and play football and this and that. So explain, man, you said, so boxing you said you went back to playing sports. Why did you decide at that point? Because I'm really intrigued by this, man. I'm telling you, I'm like really intrigued. Why did you decide no to boxing? I'm going back to play hoop and football and those different things.
Well,
because you said you got in there and got a taste of it, and you were like, all right. So what happened that you were like, you know what? What at that time? Obviously now you're boxing, but what at that time was like, let me go do this.
As far as go back to
more of those, you said those school sports, academic sports.
Well, it's the school thing. I mean, you look at scholarships.
You wanted a scholarship.
You want to go to college. I mean, we go to
100%
school all day long, and they tell us, go to college.
You need to go get a scholarship.
I feel like that would be my break to college. I mean, my parents got it like that to just
feel that. No, I feel that with you, bro.
And still being in college. So I mean, that's pretty much how everybody plans to get there. Sometimes,
I feel that
less fortunate people, sports.
If you have it in a sport, and you're a good athlete, you put it in your mind, like, I can make it up out of here with that. And we as coaches, like, we teach kids that. Like, I was at Romulus, and I can't tell you how many kids I sat down in the 4 years at Romulus, and I was like, you want out? You want out of here? You want a better situation than what you got here? Because you got it if you want it. You're a dude. But like, you got to keep putting the work in and stay out of trouble. But you do that, like, bro, it's there for you. And we watched 10, 12, 15 kids go on and do their thing, which is beautiful, right? But it's like, hey man, I definitely get that. That's kind of the mindset of like, let me use this to get up out. But I was similar to you, man. I didn't make it where I was trying to go either. We have a similar kind of route there where it didn't work where we thought it was going to work in that manner.
Yeah.
So what happened? So did you not get recruited? Did it just not work out? And just being transparent, man, because where you're at now, hey man, you a man far traveled, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I learned from the journey. You know, I was a kid. You know, I was being young. I was making young decisions. I had quit the football team for like a day. You know, one of those days at practice.
Didn't like that shit.
Man, I'm done. No, I mean, the coaches came to me nice, respectful, and everything. Come on, D, come back and go play, like tonight. And I'm like, no, I'm done. I'm standing on mine now. You feel
man.
me? I'm gone. I come back to school the next day. I'm like, Coach, let me back on. Man, he put me on the team, man, that senior year. He put me back on the team, but he didn't play me, man. That was my senior year, bro. So, like, I was.
You think it was because of the whole situation?
I mean, it was.
Had to be something, right? It had to be something.
You know.
What year did you graduate?
08.
08? Okay, yeah. So a few years before I did. I graduated in 2011, so a few years. So and you graduated from Monroe High School?
Yeah.
All right, man. So it doesn't work out. At what point after you graduate do you start getting back into boxing?
I was in it, right? I was
pretty
in
quick.
It going out of high school. You know what I mean? I pretty much knew.
Did you just see it like, okay? I guess my question is, did you kind of see this like, okay, scholarship, playing sports wasn't my way out, but could this boxing thing be my way out?
Yeah.
Or could it not even just necessarily my way out, our way up? You know what I'm saying? The way up. I hate saying the way out because you want to elevate your community, right? But the way up.
Right.
You know, was that kind of your thought process then at that time? Or did you just want something to do?
You know, honestly, man, like I'm a millennial, you know, I'm a freelancer type of worker, you know, I do photography, I do, photo editing. I can do with music. Pretty much
box.
Box.
You're right.
I go hoop with the best of them.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
So it was just that, man, I don't know if you ever met AJ Porter.
No, but I know who AJ is.
So,
but I have not.
He was like the Sugar Ray Leonard. Like, he would have just impressed the whole world if they would have got to see him. You know, he had the natural ability that I work hard to get. You know,
I got you on
I've
that.
had to focus on his talents to tap into me. And he passed away now, but when he passed away, it kind of brought me back because the city needed him so bad to be a champion. That's how I felt.
Wow, that's deep.
Because I got back to working, honestly. I went to
that's so deep.
Working with the Ford plant. So I was in and out of boxing. I show up, I'm in town, you know.
Right.
But I'm halfway in, halfway out. And I was ready to be out. I was in the union. I was
it's different when you get to that kind of life, man. I worked in an auto plant for 4 years. You get in a
I know I did 5.
Get in a mindset, man. You get locked in there.
As soon as I got out of there, man, I took boxing serious. I gave myself that job stressed me out. It really messed me up, man. Like, it was after they fired me or whatever. So
I feel that.
I'm like, we about to go on vacation. Come on, babe. Me and my
wait
girl.
A minute. I'm about to take a chill break after that.
After all them years and I'm
auto
fighting
plant
for
drove
my
you out
job.
Of town.
Yeah,
I feel it though, bro.
I filed a grievance to get back in. I fired again. All that crazy stuff.
Oh, man.
So I'm like, man,
wild.
I'm stressed out. I'm like, babe, I got a little bit of money. We can go ahead. Let's go to Aruba.
Oh, man.
When I get back, I'm going hard.
And then you got into boxing when you came back?
And, I never really left it. I just,
It just
was
wasn't
weighing
quite
my
as
options.
serious
I mean, we all juggle a lot of different situations in our life, and you know,
definitely.
like I say, I'm just blessed to, you know, be able to balance everything and let one thing lead to another. I start a bunch of different foundations, and you know, I'm able to go back around.
Love that, and that's where you're at today.
Yeah.
So how many years ago did you take that vacation?
That was what 2008? No.
Was it
17 or 18?
Okay. And then you came back and just absolutely hit the ground running.
Yeah.
Because man, where you're at right now, I'm like, man, you're so involved now. So just so into things right now. Like you are not halfway in, halfway out. Like it is. So that had to be, you know, that's why I wondered what year it was, because now it's so like, man, this guy has worked really hard. He's really in a different place right now than, you know. D, who are you motivated by growing up?
My dad, honestly. My dad, he really instilled in my head that I can do whatever I want to do.
I love that.
I put my mind to it. You know, my dad went to the service, and
shout out for him for his service, or for his services.
Yeah, and you know, and he military trained me growing up, kind of, you know.
Okay.
Like,
some discipline, some commitment, some different things.
Yeah, reward, commitment, discipline.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, he worked at the Ford plant.
Staples.
He rewarded me well, you know.
He worked at the plant too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Got you. Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah. Yeah, you're pushing 33 years now.
He's still there today?
Yeah, Fords.
Yeah, shout out to him, and that's longevity.
Yeah.
Longevity.
Right.
But that's awesome, man. He's got to be doing pretty well there to be there that long. He's got to, you know, be doing good there.
But. Yeah, but him, you know, there's different, like you would say, pillars, different father figures in my life that have really instilled important things into me. You know, like my grandfathers, my boxing coach, some of my uncles. Just
who's some of your boxing coaches down there?
Todd Riggs and Keith Vining.
Everybody knows them guys. Shout out to them guys.
And then Coach Leon, he was on a podcast with me not too long ago.
Shout out.
With Pillar Talk. And that's Coach Leon, because he's from the Ann Arbor area. Okay. So like that's why I wasn't sure if I was gonna make it to the show, because me and Coach Leon were gonna go to Philadelphia. The National Golden Gloves are in Philadelphia.
No kidding.
So my plans was I'm gonna take the trip also with them to go visit some gyms in Philly.
Yeah, definitely.
Let them know who it is.
Yeah, I get that for sure. Yeah. Because that'd be a big part of growing your brand too, man, is starting to get on the road a little bit. Move as you get bigger. You know what? I ain't even gonna sit here and speak like that, because I don't know boxing like that. But I would think that would be the next step once you keep growing, man, and winning fights and getting your name bigger. Is, you know, you start to look to take, you know, you might fight in other places and other locations if that call comes or that opportunity is right, or you know what I'm saying? I love to see I love this, and I love the Detroit fights, don't get me wrong, and I love the Monroe stuff, but I would love to see, like, in 10 years or 8 years or 5 or whatever, man, I love to see D Millz in Vegas. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would love to see that.
In the next 2 years or so.
See, and that's why I said not even 5. Don't even quote me on that, man. Don't even quote me.
They got me on the
This
Vegas
guy's cooking
odds
right now. Cooking.
They making money off me in Vegas.
They got you on the Vegas odds?
Yeah, last fight was my first one on
shout out, man. That's big.
What's that thing called?
Hey, when Vegas takes you serious, that means it's serious.
Yeah.
That means it's serious.
Yeah.
When Vegas got your name up there, that means, oh shit, it's serious.
Bro, somebody called my mom off of my flyer from a whole nother state talking about, hey, the things didn't update. Did Derrick win? I know you don't know me.
Weak. Are you serious? Trying to find out if you won your fight.
Yeah, because he won some money.
Because he was trying.
He won his parlay. He said my ball. He's like, yeah. He's like, I won my parlay.
Oh man, that's the coolest story though. Like, I hate that, you know, I'm not promoting gambling on the show, but to get that phone call's got to be like, Okay, now something's cooking, man. Like that's
Yeah.
big. That's big stuff.
Yeah.
That's when people are starting to take you, because we're all gonna take you serious here, because we know what you're capable of. Us.
Right.
They don't though. In Vegas, in Seattle, in this place, they don't necessarily know, what we know. So I think that's to start hearing stuff like that is like somebody's starting to know somewhere else.
Yeah.
Somebody's starting to realize something somewhere. What you got, man?
Money could be made.
Yup, that's cool, man. Because I think that's what do they call that? Foreshadowing, right? That's foreshadowing. You get that phone call and it's like, I'll see you in Vegas in a few years, man. That's the type of stuff I can't wait for. And I know you keep working hard. That's what's in store for you, man. Whatever opportunities I think, you I think will work for and want, man. I think they'll come to you. Yeah. Just like Bronco, when he worked hard, the opportunities came his way. So I feel the same thing will happen for you, man. So that's awesome. Let's let me see here. We talk a lot about boxing and a lot about our sports and stuff, but I want to know a little bit about you just for a second outside of boxing. What ambitions do you have outside of this sport? Like, what are some things you said photography? Like, what are some things you love doing outside of this thing?
What I love doing, honestly, man, is coaching the kids, man. Like, bro, like my son is a beast.
I love it, man. Was he hooping the other day? Did I see him in the hoop video? Did you post that?
Oh, yeah.
You posted that.
Yeah, he scored like 30 points, man.
I seen him shoot the ball on your video. I was like, look at that, man. I love it.
Right, he was pulling. He was almost pulling from the three. His mom brought out her trophy not too long ago because she could shoot threes real good back when she was younger.
So she had to show him.
He as soon as he seen that,
he was like, wait. He said, let me show you. That's awesome, though, man. So just being around the kids?
Being around the kids, man. I coached flag football.
Love it.
We won a championship.
Love it.
And I had the Bad News Bears. You know what I mean?
That was your team name?
Well, no. Well, I'm saying.
Oh, that was your real team?
I had a dysfunctional, how it was. I mean, they're what?
I've been there, man.
7-year-old kids.
Yeah, they're learning. they're learning.
But we lost every game in the regular season and won the championship at the end.
Let's go.
Ball down on every team.
So the kids learn.
They learn.
They got better, man. That's good coaching. That means the kids respected you too. That means they wanted to play hard for you. Yeah. You know what I mean? But that's awesome. So what, you got anything else to add to that? Like outside of boxing, what's some things, anything else that you kind of do on a daily basis or things you just, take pleasure in? You say you went to Aruba, man. You must like to travel.
That was like my only trip. Man.
Hey, I've been to Florida once and South Carolina once in my life. That's about the extent. I feel it.
Well, yeah, I've been to Florida. I've been to Vegas.
Busy, man. It's hard to take vacations when you work all the time, when you're busy all the time.
Well, a lot of my vacations come from a part of the sport that I'm
boxing,
in,
right? Right, or whatever you're doing.
Because I went to Vegas twice with the Golden Gloves, Detroit Golden Gloves.
That's what's up.
And then a few other places. But yeah, I mean,
that's awesome. That's awesome.
When you do stuff, a lot of things take you places. I'm like, okay,
yeah,
free little trip.
I find that too, man. With coaching, it's the same way. It's like I can't tell you how many people I've met, hands I've shaken of major football coaches, or get to go to this weight room and lift in this weight room, or get to go see this campus, and I'm grateful, man. I'm just like, I'm here because these young dudes potentially want to come here, or they're here for a camp or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, thank y'all for, me being able to have that opportunity, man. Just blessed, but right. It's the same thing, man. I can't tell you how many places, even stuff like this show, being able to do a podcast every week, just because these guys trust in me as a coach and trust the people I'm going to bring on to have conversations with and what we're going to put out there. So I think just all the experiences, it comes with it, but that's hardworking people too. You don't get to go to Vegas with the Golden Gloves unless you're a dude, you know what I mean? Unless you work hard. And I know you're the epitome of that, man. What is, so how do you prepare for a fight? Like, what does like a week look like of a fight for you?
Or
or
really
even the
is.
months leading up? Just what's your preparation like, man? Is it a lot of weightlifting days? Is a lot of days in the boxing up at the gym and ALCC? Like, what are you doing to prepare?
Pretty much got a nice little routine. I do like I like doing 2-a-days leading up to my fight.
Okay,
Train
elaborate
early
on
in the
that. I love
day,
that.
train earlier in the day, and then train later at night. Um, you know, I'll probably do my run or something earlier in the day, and then go to the gym later at night, jump rope, shadow box, hit the bag, let my
Okay,
coach critique me,
right.
hit the hand pads. Just hard rounds of all that. And I just do my push-ups, sit-ups, all that stuff at home. So coach can trust me.
Now, does that stuff you said the stuff you do at home? Are you just doing that in the middle of the day when you get home from your training? Just spare time
Yeah,
whenever you
just
can get them.
spare
You just make
time.
sure I get them in.
Yeah, gotta get them in.
Got you.
Gotta
Got
get
you.
them in.
Got you.
That's kind of like something my dad taught me too. Just basically,
Yeah. Yeah. So
give me a number.
for a guy like you, though, if you're going 2-a-days, so is that in the middle of the day? Then are you just taking care of priorities with the kids,
Priorities.
with life, with getting dinner for whatever, work, photography? You said so. You're just taking care of everything in those middle of the days.
Yeah. So I just recently or last week, I finally got Millz Boxing as a LLC in Michigan.
Let's go. Shout out.
So I've been trying to learn the business thing.
Love that. Yeah. So when do you find time for that?
I don't know when I find time. Listen, that's
you
my
just carve
thing.
it in sometimes.
Yeah, that's my thing. I got to get better at
time management's hard.
Time management, being ahead of the game. But I'm so
I'm the same way, man. I got to get better.
I kind of move with how the Lord moved me. You know
Love
what I mean?
That. Yeah.
So it's kind of like I don't put too much on myself. Sometimes I put too much on myself, but I try to be responsible enough to let people know when, okay, I'm kind of getting burnt out a little bit.
Yep. I got a lot going on.
Yeah. Something else is, I just let the Lord pull me, man. I'm working with 3 young kids right now, about 17, 18, 19.
Love it.
And I've been personal training them.
Love it.
Just for the game of it. And I'm helping my own coaching ability, and these is gonna be some young leaders.
I love that, and they're looking up to you, man.
Coming up
every day. They're looking up to how you move before a fight, after a fight. They're looking up to your podcast. They're looking up to you. That's awesome, man. I love that you love coaching, bro.
Yeah,
That's
I love
incredible.
coaching everything.
You should coach because you're that kind of dude, man. You're the kind of guy we need coaching too.
Yeah, man.
You're that guy, man. You're definitely I hate to say it
I
like this,
might be a
bro.
better coach than I am a fighter sometimes. Like I think I know if I could get a world title, I know that I could train a person to get a world title. I just know I can.
Is that what you're chasing in boxing?
World title? Oh, yeah. I want to be the undisputed champ. So when I get the one, you know how they got all those different belts.
Yeah.
I want them to know
the undisputed.
The undisputed. I got all them boys, and then I'll probably sit back.
And you're 12-0 right now, right?
Yeah.
12-0. 7 knockouts, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. So where, as far as rankings, where are you at right now?
They got me
I know
it's been fluctuating between 4 and 5.
I was say you got a hell of a ranking. I know that.
Yeah, in America.
Top 5 in America.
Yeah, I was number 4 after my last.
So your shot's gonna come.
I mean,
you don't have to say too much
this year,
but it's coming, right?
I hope at least by December, like they gonna give me that phone call.
How does that now?
They got that fight at Little Caesars coming up.
Yes, yeah.
Clarissa Shields show. And I had to be, I gotta humble myself, and because I could fight on that show.
Okay,
but it would be like, paying for my spot. I'll be ready to get on that show when they invite me. You know what I mean?
I got you.
It'd be coming out of a whole bunch of sponsors. I'll be asking for a lot.
Yeah, I definitely
to try to get on the show.
You gotta probably be selective with fights based on not just fighting, but like business.
business-wise.
Business, what's smart for me, what's smart for my image, my marketing.
Yeah.
People criticize Floyd, but like one thing I always told people is like Floyd was very smart about the fights he took, at least in my opinion.
Yeah.
I thought Floyd always took a fight that he knew he had a fairly pretty good chance of winning and that he could make a lot of money off of. And some other things that he did too but I always thought he was a very, very smart when he took the matches that he took and the ones he took. Yeah. And I think that's part of why he's 50-0 or, was 50, right?
Yeah.
I think it's 50, but
did he go get a 51?
I don't know. That's what I'm wondering. Did he get 51 yet? Because sometimes he be taking on somebody and I didn't even hear about it and he just beat him up real quick.
Yeah, because he took a few.
That's what I'm wondering. He might have took one
exhibition fights.
But he's a guy who I still thought for the most part, he picked his fights pretty smart.
Yeah.
But I think from like, man, that's got to be tough. How does that work though? And you don't have to, if there's some stuff you can't say, it's all good. But so like for you to get that call, how does that work? Do they just call you? Is this something you're emailing? Like, hey, dude, I need my title shot. Like, is this, you know what I'm saying? Like, how does this work to get you that title shot? Or do you just keep winning until you're just too damn good to say no to?
You said, how do I get the title shot?
Yeah, like how does that work in boxing? How does somebody even receive that call? I mean, you're winning. Do you just keep winning, or how does that just kind of
it's
cards got to fall?
Yeah, it's about who you know.
Okay,
you know what I mean.
So building your not just winning, but building your brand, connecting to the right people.
Right.
That makes sense.
You got to talk to the right people because I mean, it's crazy. These people from Russia messaged Carlos, the promoter.
They
messaged him. They wanted to pay me like $30,000 to come to Russia to go fight this guy in Russia. The guy does like bare knuckle fighting, and they wanted me to fight him, box him. I watched the video on him. I would have beat him, but I'm not going to Russia.
I'm like, yo, time out. That sounds dangerous.
Russia, period.
That sounds dangerous.
They're gonna have to
price tag gonna have to add a couple more zeros to that thing.
You got to put a meal on there,
right?
That way I can pay somebody to take me home.
Because no, man, to Russia. But yo, back to what we said earlier though, that like speaks to like where you're going, bro. That's big. They want you to fly across overseas and do some international stuff. I don't blame you. Don't get me wrong, because that's with the climate of the world right now. Especially, and I'm not like I don't get into politics like that, but with the climate of how our world's kind of moving right now, I think it's just scary to go over to certain places, man, just because you just never know right now.
I know.
It's too crazy.
But the thing is,
because us coaches and athletes, we're rational. People in politics ain't as rational as we are. So, and I hate to say it like that, but it's the truth, man.
It is.
That's crazy though that you had that opportunity. I love it, man. That's wild.
Yeah.
So but you believe it'll come, that title shot.
Yeah, and like I say, it's gonna probably be out of the country though, because at the cruiserweight weight class, all the guys out of the country got the belt. So I might have.
You might have to go over there and get it. Okay, so you might be going over grounds anyways.
Yeah, either way, I'm
in that title.
I'm at a position at a weight class where you
got you. But that's the opportunity of the lifetime, right? That's the one you say, I'm gonna just go get that thing and bring it back.
Bringing it back.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
I'm gonna go. I'll go to each one of their country. I'm bringing all them boys back to America.
I love that, man.
You feel me?
No, I love that, bro.
I'm serious, bro. Look, I've been in the ring with enough dogs. I've been in the ring with enough dogs to know that they can't hurt me. I can't be hurt out here. That's why I'm comfortable in the ring. I am not worried about nobody in the ring.
This guy's a killer.
I've gotten a ring with some killers, man. And
definitely.
At a disadvantage, I still prevail. Like,
and you're coached by killers,
they know.
Man. You're coached by absolute just dudes, man, in this sport.
Todd's a perfectionist.
Todd is the OG. For people that don't know, Todd is the OG for boxing. Like, and Todd's been working with guys like D, Bronco. I mean, from years ago all the way to now to the young guys. Like, It's crazy, man.
He's got years under his belt.
That is awesome. I cannot wait. I can't wait just to watch it, man. I hope people watching this, we're gonna jump behind you. You already know that. You got a great support system here in Monroe, man. It's just growing and growing and growing. I mean, shoot, to be honest with you, bro, me and you just started knowing each other in the last year or two. Like, we just starting to do stuff together, and I'm just starting to, support and start getting the fights and jump behind. And so it'll keep growing, man, as time goes. Now I'm telling people about you all the time. And hey, man, as you know, that Monroe's, we like, I'm gonna just declare it because, screw it. But we like the boxing capital, man, right here. I really feel like that. I mean, we got a former champion in Bronco, and we got an upcoming champion. And I think that's special. I really do, man. So D, there's a hot topic nowadays, man, and with athletes. You're a very busy dude, as we talked about. I want to know, like, how do you, because you seem like a very well put together person. How do you prioritize your mental health? How do you take care of yourself up here? We all exercise. We all go to the gym. Not everybody. You should if you don't. But how do you take care of this?
I give myself time. And I meditate. I don't, necessarily meditate type, but I give myself time
to sit
between my tasks to really let things unravel. Sometimes we work real hard, man, and sometimes we want to see the fruits to our labor right away. Now.
Yeah.
I mean, we become a microwave mentality world.
Yep. Hit the button.
Ding. You know what I mean? Not, you look at the older generation, they like to get more prepared for things.
100%. They take their time.
But
no, they take their time. Yeah.
Yeah. And
they're very routine and systematic. And I noticed that the older generation does not they'll never break off of their routines and their system. And if they do, and they get pissed. Older people get mad as hell when you mess up their routine or their day, like the way their day is supposed to go. They're like, look, I was supposed to go here at lunch today, and now I'm here doing this. They get mad when you throw things. I'm telling you, but there's a reason a lot of the older generation is also like, a lot of them are financially stable. A lot of them still have their families put together. Obviously there's exceptions, but I grew up, my parents weren't together, but I know there's obviously those, but there's also like a lot of that older generation, man, stayed together, kept the families together because they stuck to things that they knew were the right way to do things or were the way that worked for them at least.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I loved earlier when you said about having systems and routines.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you can survive without them because life's chaotic as hell. And systems control the chaos. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It keeps it to like, while you are doing a bunch of shit every day, I'm supposed to be here, then here. I train at this time. I train at this time at night.
Yeah.
So while it's chaotic, you're in a flow to a degree.
Yeah. I'm not scared to take off a night of training because my mental is that I gotta get together. If it's something that's I'll take time off from training or certain things if my mental ain't right. You know what I mean? Like,
that's great advice though to people. Time.
You have to give yourself time. I mean, you go get money every day. When do you go get time? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's real.
That's real. Time is the most expensive thing,
Yeah.
Time.
And you cannot get it back.
Because what is history? People pay so much for history. Once you got history, it's I mean, it's
no, I get what you mean 100%. And I think to piggyback off of that, when you say time, and you mentioned it in like a way of like, I take a day off or I take these couple days off or whatever I need. I think there's a smaller scale too, where it's like, so let's say you can get by and you don't need to take the day off necessarily. Maybe you don't have something super serious, but you're just stressed, man. Like, woke up, man. So, I couldn't get my, this happened when I went to get my breakfast. It's some BS, whatever. I think even just short, like 20 minutes, man. Sometimes just stop for 20 minutes. And I don't mean TikTok though. I mean just like stop, sit back for 20 minutes and just think and just kind of, man, because
that's that meditation.
I'll be real, bro. I get
how often
100%.
How often do you sit in the car?
I have to do that shit, man.
When you pull up to the house
all the time.
You at home
for 20 minutes,
sit in the car.
Like, damn, no phone, nothing. I'm just sitting there staring, man. Like,
my girl seen that I pulled up. She seen that I pulled up, but I ain't came in yet. Like, what are you doing?
Text
out there?
You, call you, like, you coming in?
Oh, shoot.
100%, man. Man, I'll be real with you. My wife, she watches the show. She gonna laugh, but man, a couple times I may have fallen asleep on that thing a few times. Like, quick 30-minute nap, my bad. But hey, nap, I hate to say it like this, but naps are another thing. Because I only sleep like sometimes I'll get 5-6 hours, maybe 4, depending on what we got going on. And it's like, dude, a 20-minute, 30-minute hour nap sometime is like the most rejuvenating thing to me. Wake back up. I'm like, all right, last night sucked for as far as my 5 hours of sleep, but at least I got that quick hour and a half in, and now I can go get some more stuff done and kind of keep going for the day. And that's another, like, and people will say, like, well, sometimes I feel worse after a nap as far as sleepy, but a nap also shuts your mind down for 30 minutes. It just says, you know what? No work right now, no stress. I'm just done, man. I'm done for 30. I need it. I need to decompress.
Yeah.
So I think that's big, man.
That's
great advice.
Say they wake up at a little bit slower, groggy. That's probably the pace you should probably be at anyway. Slow down.
100%.
100%. Give yourself time. That's how
I struggle with that, bro. When I first started getting up early in the mornings, when I switched to a morning job, and I started getting up at like 5 or 6 in the morning, I used to want to get up and like go. And then I found that I was like getting frustrated. Like I found that like when I would get up and just boom, start trying to do stuff at the computer, whether it's business or this and that, I'm like, dude, I'm getting way too frustrated by 11:30. Because it's like, I think that's another thing. If you notice, like older people, they'll wake up, they'll have their coffee, they'll eat breakfast, they'll read the newspaper. They kind of like gear into the day before they just boom and go outside and get work done. So I started to learn from that.
Because, I think like as far as like mental health and why people are struggle with it, I think sometimes that fear of giving themselves time rather than giving it to their job or giving it to whoever's pushing them through the day. I think that's a big thing, man.
No, that's huge what you just said. I've never thought of that like that, but what you just said is 100% correct.
Yeah.
Fear of, I'm not giving this to my kids, my husband, wife, my job, so I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Yet we run ourselves down so hard and need that time. That I think that's big, because I think that's how some people are damaging themselves and struggling, because there's I can't remember who said this, but there's an old coach that said, you can't take care of others. He used to tell me this, man. You can't take care of others until you take care of yourself first. You have to be selfish to be selfless. That's what he used to tell me. You got to be selfish to be selfless. You have to make sure you're good to make sure they're all good. And to me, man, it's like, as a man, especially as a young man, I think that's hard to learn, because we're always taught growing up, for the most part, like work, break your back, be tough, do this, do that, don't bitch, don't cry. And I think it's hard for young men to kind of grasp that. And I think that's big, man.
Yeah.
I thought that's one of the highlights of the show right there. Kids need to hear that. That's huge.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I always say that too. You gotta take care of yourself. I preach that to everybody, because when I train people, they always give me their backstory. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Once they get sweaty, tired,
right,
they tell me how bad they want it. They always give me that story that, what's their drive. And, that's pretty much what I tell everybody, man, is you got to take care of yourself, and then everything else will fall into place. And you got to have that type of faith. Like I told you, that job, it was running me down because I was, you know, I wasn't giving myself time to get to work. You know, I was rushing, pop up, and go.
Yeah.
But
I was doing that too as a player.
It was messing me up. But
I feel that. It takes you in a bad mindset at them places. It can.
You gotta take care of yourself. They're talking about eating. Eat when you need to eat. Eat right. I mean,
sleep.
Get that sleep.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I say, like, a lot of people, we get up out of school, we get out of high school, and we be like, yes, I'm finally done with high school. I ain't got to go to lunch at this time. I ain't got to go do this at this time. Man, school sucked. But I think the one thing that we got to respect is we live in a world of structure. So, So
100%.
If certain people get out of high school, they can hit the ground running. Yeah. If they stick with them routines and making those routines. I mean, you'll see the people that aren't taking care of themselves are the ones that, playing video games for too long past lunch. Study. I know you get to do what you want to do, but you ain't gotta starve yourself because you ain't gonna take the time to cook yourself something or to take care of
100% get that. Like, no, it is. It's the people that, it all translates, man. What you do as a student is what you do as a person, is what you do as a player or an athlete. That's just how the kids think I'm crazy, bro. But I'm like, I guarantee you, I can tell y'all who I use this analogy all the time, but I'm like, I can tell based on looking at your guys' classroom behavior and your field behavior in football, which one of y'all tell mom, give her a hard time when she asks you to do the dishes or take the garbage out, and which one of y'all step up and do it without her asking. I can already tell who's who
right away,
just based on how you act in school. Because it all, like, and the kids that are watching, my kids especially know this at Mason, and the kids I've coached throughout, but you can't fake it. There's not one. Who you are is who you are. So if you are taking plays off in the classroom, you're taking plays off as a person. You're taking plays off in the community. All of it, man. You know what I'm saying? So that's why you're such a successful boxer, though, man, because you built yourself into being a great dude, and you have good intentions and you have good purpose, and that now translates into boxing for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But I tell you what, what haunted me, like that's why I think I'm good, because I've been on both sides of the road.
Right. 100% feel that too.
One of my teachers told me in middle school, he said, if you quit now, you'll always be a quitter.
Yeah.
And it stuck with me because
for the rest of your life.
It did, because I quit at a few things, and I have, but with that curse on me, I felt like I had a curse on me, bro. With that on me, I had to rebuild my mind from scratch.
That makes sense.
To become this boxer that I wanted to be. I gave myself at least 6 months of time after I had my last amateur fight. I gave myself at least a strong 6 months. I tell all athletes everything. In 6 months of training, you could be whatever you want to be. You could, if it's a job that you want, if it's a sport that you want, in 6 months of training, you could be whatever you want to be. And when I lost that job, I used my unemployment down. I worked, tried to get little jobs here and there.
Right.
But I gave myself that 6 months of time of training, and I learned so much more in boxing at that time, in that period, than anything. Like, I dialed in. I was doing 2-a-days when I had,
Right. Yeah. Definitely.
Taking care of family, man, and training my son. Like, my son is but bro was about to see another star come out in a minute.
Let's go.
My son, he told me, he was like, Dad, I want to be an NBA basketball player. I'm like, you sound like you've set your mind to that.
Let's go.
It don't hurt me.
It's not impossible
to spend
Monroe
that time
either.
with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can take him to the gym. He can hoop. I can box. I can hoop a little bit with them after.
Right.
I mean, that'll give my legs a good little extra exercise.
It's so important. Dad being there with a son. That is so important today, man. Coach Bates from the Red Storm, shout out to Coach Bates.
Yeah.
We talked about that heavy when we were on, but so important that fathers start being back in the lives of children and sons especially.
Yeah.
I just think it's extremely important right now, man. So I love seeing that and hearing that because we need it, man. And this is all over the country. This isn't a particular area or particular culture or anything like that. This is a problem everywhere at this point. You know what I'm saying? And it's not just Michigan. Like I said, at this point, it's everywhere in the United States where fathers just need to be back in the homes more for the sons and the kids. So I love hearing that, man. And he, regardless of what your son wants to do, he looks at you and what you do and says, my dad wants to be excellent, and these are the things he's doing to be excellent. So I'm going to do those in my lane, even if it's not boxing, if it's basketball, right? You want to go to the NBA. Now he's going to look at what you do in boxing, though, and he's going to translate that to his sport, to what he wants to do and go, I got to do what dad does and work like that and prepare like that.
Yeah.
I
always tell him, I mean, bro, you got the opportunity to be better than me. Like,
be a better athlete.
You're going to be better than me. I don't tell him you're going to be better than me. I want him to work.
Right. Definitely.
It ain't just going to happen.
Definitely.
You're going to have to work for it, buddy.
So that's when you tell him, you're going to be better than me. But today we going to have to still, test it out and let's see.
I'm going to challenge you.
Yeah, let's push you today and see where you at. Definitely, though. I love it, man. I got one more question for you, D, before we jump up out of here, man. It's been a great interview.
Yeah.
I asked Bronco this. I don't know as much about this sport as I obviously do, like football, basketball, and volleyball. Really, football and volleyball lately have. Football has always been my thing, but volleyball has kind of become that kind of secondary sport for me. But when it comes to boxing, I'm genuinely intrigued at like the growth of the sport, the health of the sport. Just because, again, I got friends in this thing. I love you, man. I love Bronco. You guys are great for the community. But what is the health of boxing and how can we improve it? So where do you think, like, is it healthier today than it was before in in maybe the 90s or 2000s? Are we in a good spot for boxing as a whole, as a sport? What do you think?
What do you mean, like business wise?
Popularity, business. I mean, is it,
it's popping right now. Boxing is popping right
it's
now.
Up right now.
You know what I mean? Because it's an excellent exercise.
In what ways?
It's an excellent exercise. I mean, boxing is a lifestyle. This is what I'm promoting as a lifestyle. Boxing is a lifestyle that, if you know how to fight, you don't have to pick on nobody. You know what I mean?
Right.
Right. If you want to be a boxer, you have to fuel yourself for eating,
Right. Take care of yourself.
If you want to be a boxer, you got to meditate. You got to train on your own sometimes. Right. Build focus.
You think these are the things that are drawing people to the sport?
Let me ask you this. It's an attractive sport. You know what I mean?
Do you think there's more people now watching and participating than there was maybe 10 years ago? Or do you think it's growing in an upward trend? So because you said 14, so I'm wondering, like 10, 15 years since you've kind of seen boxing.
Because the area growing. Because the area of boxing,
does that skew it a little bit?
Was back in the day. You know what I mean? We're in like a weird generational era of boxing. It's different. Like back then, everybody's daddy, uncle boxed.
Yeah.
Everybody actually did the sport.
Definitely.
They
My
got
uncle used
taste.
to box. Yeah. Definitely get that.
My uncle grew up taste, but it was rough back then. You had to prove yourself as men back then.
Yeah, definitely.
Nowadays, a lot of these kids get to choose.
Right.
Choose whether you want to box or not.
Definitely. I just wonder, Bronco said like the
Where
sport
the
as a
hell-
whole is being more viewed because
Yeah,
they're going to
it's
more
more
cable
money.
network and they're making more money.
It's more entertainment.
Which is awesome for the sport. We want to see it, right?
Yeah.
I always found that when I was growing up, bro, I'll be real with you. I always found that fascinating how like, dude, even WWE has pay-per-views, but I can watch WWE growing up on Monday or Friday. Even if I don't pay for the pay-per-views. I always found it like basketball, football. I can always watch it. I always found it so crazy that like, how can I not watch boxing? It's always paper. And then Bronco brought it to my attention that boxing is now hitting streaming services and cable networks, which I think is awesome, man. The sport needs to be seen. And I've always thought that like this sport needs to be seen.
Yeah, because back in the day they had like boxing on regular cable TV.
Did they still run it on cable
television? Yeah, it was like Friday night boxing.
The Friday night fights,
Friday night fights. I mean, families used. That's why boxing was even more.
So I
think
fights. He just meant like it's growing in that way. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of growing in those manners of because there is now like, dude, you can find boxing on any streaming services or pay-per-views, and there's a ton of stuff now that you can watch. Because even with the Friday night fights, I feel like even today there's a lot more opportunities that you can watch it, whether it's streaming, whether it's just videos coming across your Instagrams or your YouTubes. I feel like I see it more than I did when I was a kid. Now, obviously, some of that's this thing, right? Obviously, but I do feel like boxing has done a little better at like putting it on this so people can see it, right?
Yeah,
which is cool. I love that, man, because it's a great sport. D, before we get out of here, what's next? When's your next fight? Or, if you don't have something set in stone, obviously you don't have to, throw nothing out that's set in stone. But, what do you got going on here, going on for the rest of this year?
Through the summer, man, I got a lot of plans right now. And one thing I want to do is get into these schools, and do an anti bullying program, because there's been a lot of crazy stuff I've been hearing in the schools as far as bullying. As far as my next fights and things, we're looking at July, probably going back to Motor City.
So
and then we're looking at August. We're talking about a show here in Monroe.
Putting on one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Something putting on and participating, or just putting on?
Well, the guys that
you don't have to
about
nothing.
that last fight that last fight we did in Monroe, that first one we did. I worked hard. I was up that night,
man,
helping putting the show together. But I won't have to. I'll be able to put my name on it.
So you're gonna run that back though, or do another Monroe show? And
Monroe
you said potentially August.
This is gonna be potentially probably one of the historic boxing event, because as far as the venue that we got in our scopes. It's going to be historic.
So for the listeners out there, before we get out of here, I want them to be able to find that. D, where can these guys find you guys? You got a link that we can find you at Facebook, Instagram, or website? If you're selling merch, like anything, man, go ahead and let these guys know. A lot of young people listening that look up to you. Again, a lot of people from the center today that said they were going to tune in tonight. So let us know.
So dmillsboxing.com. I'm looking at the website. I'll be updating, letting people know what's set in stone. I look forward to making the website a bit better. Otherwise, you can reach me on Facebook.
Okay.
D Millz, DEEMILLZ.
Perfect.
Other Instagram, DMillionaire08.
Perfect.
Oh no, my bad. Instagram, I changed the name to D Millz Boxing.
D Millz Boxing. So D Millz Boxing on Instagram as well.
Yeah.
So stay tuned. I know D has a great support system. D will post a lot of stuff. His people will share it. His fans, his supporters, his team. We will share it. The Brain Jerk guys will obviously share it.
Oh, I got the group now too. The D Millz Boxing.
D Millz Boxing group. So can people just join that then?
Yeah, they can click join.
Okay, so join that, and D has also been updating that. So there's a lot of ways you can find this stuff. Soon as that stuff breaks, we'll make sure we share it with everybody and post it. You can find Brain Jerk on Facebook and Instagram. You can find Coach K Training on Facebook. You can join our group. Also, Coach K93 is my Instagram. Kicking It with Coach K is the Instagram for this page, for this podcast. So, as I said on the last show, every week we kind of go through the show, find something really meaningful to try to spark up conversation in a post. Something you said this week, so we'll find something. What are some people's thoughts out there, or elite type of thinking, just cool stuff, man. Ways to engage the mind. Because I think we have great conversations on these shows, man. I think it's important for people to listen and just talk things out and understand things. So, so stay tuned. Make sure you check out that Instagram. Also, Kennedy Health and Wellness on Facebook and Instagram, and KennedyHealthWellness.com. We are actually off next week for Mother's Day. So we are off next week on Sunday, taking an intermission from the podcast. On May 21st, we're back with Coach P from Romulus High School. So excited to have Coach Paris McCarthy in the house. Shout out to Coach P. And thank you guys for tuning in every week. Thanks, Champ, for being here today. Excited to watch your next fight, man.
Nice kicking it with you, brother.
Absolutely.